Hey guys, Level Alone here. Welcome to my Great Steel Wall Giant Boss Guide. In this guide, I'll be going over the 3 phases of the dungeon, party type setup, and all of the attack patterns and mechanics to help you set up for a great run. Firstly, forming the party for Great Steel Wall. This is a raid party dungeon, which means there are slots for up to 6 players to join together and take this giant boss on. You will most likely want 3 or 4 DPS players in these parties, unless they're very strong and you can do 2 DPS with 4 supports. Ideally, you run this with 2 supports running the Exascale Green effect and the Sage effect from Amethystine Prophecy armor or Tenebrous armor. If you need to know more about the armor and how it affects your party, you can check out my Raid Party Guide video for more. I'll leave a link to it down below. Phase 1 opens up with a giant 4-legged tank robot called the Type B Vargur. The boss's normal attacks aren't usually lethal, but it will advance forward unstoppably until it's disabled or destroyed. This boss's advancements can be slowed significantly by using force skills like Fog of Death, Haunting Spirit, or movement speed debuff skills and abilities. This boss has 2 health bars, one for its shield and one for its main health. Once the shield is depleted, the boss will temporarily fall down and will be disabled. This is your opportunity to deal massive damage to the main HP bar. After the groggy state is over, the boss will get back up and restore its shield bar to max, continuing its advance. During its advance, you may come across a turret. You can mount it with F1 and fire a missile to interrupt the boss's giant laser charge. If you miss, or if nobody uses the turret, the laser will fire and do massive damage. Try to be under or behind the boss as much as possible if your team isn't going for the turret. If the boss reaches the end of the path, a hole will open up in the center of the map and the camera will zoom out. There will be a massive explosion dealing lethal damage to party members that are not inside the safety bunker. The rest of this boss's attacks here are generally tankable, and you should have no issues getting past this part. When you enter Phase 2, you will notice a bar at the top of your screen, and a floating drone plane out beyond your platform. There will be 2 turrets on either side of the map here, and 2 players must mount the turrets to take down the drone in the background. Turret shooters will aim at the center drone's core, shooting with Z, X, or C, filling up the bar by 1 point for each shot landed. During this time, the drone will launch missiles, lasers, and there will be little drones summoned out to the map that deal damage in an area around them. They also make their way to turret players. The players that are not on turrets should be focused on healing the turret players, freezing the mini-drones across the map, and taking them out whenever possible. If a little drone reaches a turret player, it will force them off of the turret, slowing down the progress for the bar. Once the main drone's damage meter has built up to max, the core will crash land on the top of the middle platform on your map, and will be able to take damage. Turret players should jump off the turrets at this point and assist the team in lowering defenses and resistances, doing damage. During this time, the core can be frozen 2 times, ideally back to back. The person in charge of freezing should volunteer or be assigned at the start of the dungeon, and give the party a chance to lower resistances before freezing. After about 3 to 4 seconds of the boss being vulnerable in the middle, the freezer will want to use their resistance shred abilities and freeze the boss. Then, in another 3 seconds, prepare to freeze a second time to extend the damage window for your party. As you can see here, I'm playing Avarice. I freeze the boss after a short delay, and then freeze it again to ensure my party has enough time to kill it. If you don't kill it on the first drop, don't worry, you'll be able to knock it back down again soon. The turrets will open up again for players to mount them, and fire at the core. Basically, you repeat this process until the core is destroyed. Now it's time for Phase 3. This will be the most challenging. There are a lot of attacks that are thrown at you, and some of them can be really hard to see coming with everything that's going on. First, there are 2 giant mechanical arms that are on both sides of a large map with multiple platforms. Both of these arms have wide, sweeping attacks and singular vertical laser attacks, among others. You must defeat both arms simultaneously in order to be transported to the core room. Slower parties will want to take things a bit slower, and leave the bars at 30 for an easy kill after the first mechanic. During this phase, there may also be Kidnapper drones. These will spawn in a purple magic circle and stun any player that lands on it, and this debuff cannot be cleansed. These kidnappers will take players to a side turret room where they can attack one of the turrets firing lasers, or they can just teleport back to the team. Generally, it's best to go back to your team to take down the arms. The first mechanic happens about 20 to 30 seconds after entering the third phase. This will be one of two mechanics where the camera will pan out. The first possible mechanic is dual charge, in which both arms will come together and charge up a giant electric orb. If the charge is completed without interruption, it will deal fatal damage to the party. The goal here is to deal enough damage to the arms during this charging phase and make them groggy. While groggy, both arms will flop onto the front center platform, making them easier for some classes to hit both at a time and kill them both. The second possible mechanic is charging rod. During this mechanic, the camera will zoom out a bit and the arms will retreat below the stage. One battery will spawn in a random location per player. Players will be tethered to each other in party order, host being first. The easiest way to pass this mechanic is to have everyone stand on one battery each, as the charge field surrounding you is a pretty good size. During this mechanic, there is a large chance that one or more players will be attacked by a falling electron ball, indicated with a red light. I suggest staying on Resurrection title if possible, just to avoid dying. If a player dies during this phase, the closest player to their battery should run back and forth between their battery and the dead players in order to keep them both charged simultaneously. If done correctly, passing the battery phase will send you to the back room and you'll be able to start damaging the core. You only have 8 seconds to deal damage in the core room, but it can be extended with the party's freezer. The first thing you want to do when you get to the back room is use any and all resistance shredding abilities. You will need to prepare the boss to be frozen. After 3 seconds, your freezer should freeze the core and then prepare a second freeze in 3 to 4 more seconds, depending on your freeze duration. A proper freeze is very important for this phase, and a good DPS will help ensure that you're not repeating this phase for a long time. There is a 60-second cooldown on being able to freeze the core, so if you get sent to the core room back to back, you may not be able to extend the freeze for a very long, or at all. If you don't kill the core, you will get sent back to the arms platform and have to take down the arms or complete the battery mechanic again to go to the back room. And that's all you need to know for the Great Steel Wall. I hope this guide was helpful to anyone who hasn't tried it yet or hasn't been able to learn all the mechanics yet. If you need a wall run, feel free to ask. I'm always down to help out. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more. We just hit 300 subscribers this week. I still can't believe it. Thank you guys for watching and supporting, and as always, I'll see you all in game.